Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, another cold, gloomy February morning here where I live. And today I thought I might share with you my February sketchbook colour palette. Now, I know that this might take some introducing, so this isn't a favourites video. That's not really how I orient my sketchbook practice, but instead each month I choose a set of colours that I'm going to use and divide the supplies up so that I don't have to think about what I'm going to draw with when I open my sketchbook and I want to create something. Because I realised when I started getting back into sketchbooking that this was something that really held me back. The not knowing what colours to use, not knowing what materials to use, being overwhelmed by choice, and then eventually just choosing not to. Like when you're looking for something to watch on Netflix and end up looking for an hour and not choosing anything. Just me. So yeah, this is my solution. So I will do another video looking at my previous colour palettes. This practice started in September 2021, August 2021. And it's been a monthly thing I've done ever since then. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, but either way, I always end up with a nice cohesive palette of colours, and I think I'm really building a personal taste this way. So, this is my sketchbook pencil case that I always keep with me. So I always have on my desk a big main sketchbook, currently loving these Stillman & Byrne Gamma series. And then I also have a number of other sketchbooks, usually one smaller one that I take out with me if I want to go draw in a cafe, and then a number of other random little ones that I'm still filling up. And in this pencil case there are two compartments. So in this one I have a series of like monochrome supplies, fountain pens, pencils, etc. I won't really talk about that today. I also don't find that I use them all that much, but I'm always, you always need to have a pencil on hand. And then in this side, I keep my art supplies, which are in the colour palette of the month. So it's usually coloured pencils primarily, and then also felt tip pens, and then occasionally some neo colours. So these are the water-soluble wax pastels from Caran d'Ache. So, and this month I went with like this teal, blue, and red colour palette, which is all colours that I really love. So I'll just scoop all of these out of here, lay them all out for you, make sure you can see what I'm doing. So I figured that what I would do is just swatch them all out, and then maybe after that I can do a drawing with these and you can see how they work together. I can also show you some examples of how I've been using them in my sketchbooks and what they look like together. So, yeah, I'll sort out this mess and then I'll get into showing you what I've got. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a little. I've laid out all of these supplies. So the primary things that I've been using or giving myself the possibility to use this month are these Stabilo Pen 68 felt tip pens, which I love. They're so cheap, so usable. These Faber Castell Polychromos pencils, which I use mostly because they're the cheapest colour pencils that are available to me where I live, that are artist quality. Some of these Neo Color 2s, which is a medium I've been trying to get into more recently, and similarly with these Ecoline brush pens, which I really have been trying to experiment with in terms of colour a greater area at a time. So I'll start with the coloured pencils because usually my colour palettes tend to begin with my coloured pencils. And for February, because it's my birthday month, I always want to pick a colour scheme that I really, really love. And so I started with this light cobalt turquoise. And the paper that I'm using here is just like a Clairefontaine sketch paper. Might not be the best paper ever to show this on, but it is very white, which is what I wanted. But yeah, the coloured pencils lay down okay on this. I'll just move each one out of the way so I don't get confused. And this one is Deep Scarlet Red. I really love these Polychromos coloured pencils. They are soft enough to enjoy using, but not so soft that they smudge too easily, and they deal better when layered rather than blended. I am building slowly a small collection of luminance colored pencils. Everybody who's into colored pencils knows the Caran d'Ache luminance, but because they're so expensive, this has taken me a little longer and I have to pick my colors more carefully. So this is Chrome Oxide Green Fiery. You can probably see that in the reflection. The gold writing on these is a little hard to read sometimes, but I don't mind. But I've gone through, it's at the point now where, because I've been using a sketchbook for over a year and also doing this palette system for over a year, that I'm noticing recurring patterns in my color choices, and also like the length of the colored pencils that I own is often an indication of how much I like a color. So I'm really beginning to be able to narrow it down now. So I don't know if I will use this monthly color palette system forever. But for now, in terms of trying to get back into drawing, it's doing well for me. This was deep cobalt green. And then this is Helio turquoise. So Helio is often referring to phthalo colors, like in the pigments used in other paints. In the German brands, so also in Schminke as well. Schminke, Faber Castell. If they say Helio, they might mean phthalo. So that's that one. Love this sort of gradient from blue to green. I like to give myself a lot of options with colored pencils because I find that they, you know, you don't mix them like you do paint, right? So it just makes sense. I love this. I absolutely love this bright orangey vermilion color. Is that what it's called? No, it's called Scarlet Red. Yeah, this is the color that I'm always looking for in watercolor and not necessarily succeeding. One of my shortest pencils, this magenta, which if you've watched all of my other videos, you'll think is a bit strange because I said that I don't really like magenta. But the truth is that I like this color, which is this sort of dark wine red. You know, it's not too pink. And I've used this color in a lot of my color palettes, and I really, those months where I was using this color in my sketchbook, they really stand out to me. I think this color is a winner for sure. And then one last pencil to squeeze onto the page is the dark indigo. Could probably have spaced these a little better, but I didn't think it through as usual. No idea what I'm doing. Very little planning. I might speed through some of the felt tips because they're not so interesting. They just match up, and I'll give you the numbers and a close-up of them all at the end. But with the colored pencils, because I use them as the basis for the whole palette, basically, I thought I would talk through those first. So yeah, so these are the colored pencils that I chose to base my color palette off for February. I really like these like complementary reds and teals. So I will label them, get busy with swatching the felt tips and the other supplies. Probably speed it up to double speed, overlay some music, and see you back in just a few minutes. One thing that I absolutely love about these Pen 68 pens is just how juicy they are, and when you draw a line with them, it just feels so satisfying on the page, especially like with the darker colors. They're so cheap, and I know that they're like a school supply, but I've personally found that they suit me really well. And the Ecolines have such a bold brush tip. It really makes it easy to get these massive, this massive lovely coverage that's not too patchy. But this paper isn't responding too well to too much ink, or so I won't. They're also water soluble, but I won't test that out right now, because also I don't tend to use them that way, and they're relatively new to me. But yeah, I do love how they feel on the paper. I love them for like drawing the negative space around backgrounds for sketches in my sketchbook. Highly recommend them for that. And then the last supply is these new colours, which I'll also only swatch dry because I don't tend to use them wet, and the paper will not take it. So yeah. This red is really jumping out to me on a grey day like today. Absolutely love that colour today. It's interesting how your preferences vary. So I'll add some labels and then give you an up close. So here they are all labelled. I'll give you a close up. So the top row is the Polychromos pencils. I know these green-blue colours are hard to show on camera, but you'll get the general idea, I think, of where I'm going. And then for the felt tips, I just gave the number because I think that they're sold by that too in most places. The Ecoline brush pens, so juicy. And then down to the Neocolor 2 crayons at the bottom. These are so nice. Looking at all these colours together really makes me feel so inspired. I'm really happy with this month's colour palette. So just to expand on this a little further, give you some examples. Earlier this month, on the day that I bought these Ecoline brush pens, I decided to do some like floral studies in this little pink sketchbook from Royal Talens. I've been trying to finish this one. You can see I'm getting quite close, actually. Not bad. But yeah, so I was just doing these loose, scribbly flowers, not worrying too much about anything too realistic, just looking at a reference image and drawing the shapes. And this was really, really fun. I had a great time doing these using this limited colour palette. I really love the way the colours all work together. And this was using the Ecoline brush pen. It's so wet on the paper. Sometimes it struggles a little bit, but it doesn't matter because it's just a sketchbook. Another example is my recent trip to an aquarium, where this is like, and this was an unusual thing for me because I took the Neocolors mostly, and I used the Neocolors to do sketches of the fish from life, and just these very simple line drawings. I'd really like to do some watercolor paintings based on these shapes soon, sort of illustrative, semi-abstract. It's a big boy. I kind of got into it more as the time went on. Little seahorse. I think this guy is my favorite though. Just one crayon, no sketching, just standing there next to the fish tank and drawing these. I did quite a lot of these in the end actually, so lots to go off of. And then finally, in my main sketchbook, I really enjoy making these like noodly coloured pencil blending tests. This is a little bit big to fit on the camera, but I'll just show you things individually. Sort of some ideas for abstracts, just using the brush pen, super quick. Copying some stencil designs and then like filling them in with the colours. And then also I do quite a lot of these odd orange drawing sessions. I'd highly recommend them, but these were like sketches of people I did just using one colour for each. So this is an example of how having a limited colour palette, I guess, helps me in my sketchbook practice and being consistent and also staying inspired, because every month you have a different set of colours to play with. and you learn a lot about yourself as a creative along the way. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. Maybe I'll put a drawing here at the end, maybe not, we'll see. So here's my finished, very quick illustration, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, I enjoyed layering up all the colored pencils to make the sort of dimension on this sort of surreal mushroom. Sorry, I forgot to record the sketch, but that's it. That's life, I guess. I wish that there was a little bit more contrast. There are things I'd change, but I love it. And I also love that when I use my finger to blend the neocolors on the outside, I'm getting all of these fun textures from that. I never really tried doing that before. But I really like how this looks. What a cute little guy. Yeah, there are things I would do differently next time, but I enjoyed making this. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you for the sign off. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for staying to the end. As usual, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think. If you do a similar thing, choosing limited color palettes for yourself, if you'd like to see more of this kind of content from me, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend who loves color as much as we do. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!